Some of her key issues that she's talked about include education, healthcare. She is the current state superintendent of public instruction. So she has said that she's advocated for public education these last 4 years, and she will continue to do so. In the College of Business behind me, it might seem like everything's fine, we're well lit, but if you go literally just over here, this area is completely dark, and the light switches are not working. Students were informed of this decision via an email from UCO Centralities. This is the email right here. I've talked to some students, and they said that after the events of last semester, they think it's about time for a change. As a reminder, last semester, students were protesting the university and the president as there were talks about budget cuts. Martha Brennan told me that at her termination meeting, she was given reasons for why she was being fired. Some of these reasons included that they did not think she was using all resources that the university provided, and because student athletes had complained earlier in that February 2022 meeting. I actually hold right here a copy of the termination letter that Brennan received. Tragedy in Turkey continues as aftershock waves continue to rock the country. The number of reported deaths has now surpassed 47,000, and that number is expected to rise as rescue crews are still searching for people underneath damaged buildings. Here in Oklahoma City, members of various religious organizations all joined together in a prayer vigil. And you can actually check your tire pressure yourself using one of these. This is a tire gauge. And I will now show you how to check your tire pressure. So you're going to come along to the side of your car, to any one of your tires, and you're going to unscrew the cap that's right there. And then you're just going to take your tire gauge and you're going to press it on that cap. And it should make that sound. And then whatever number reads on the tire gauge is what it's at. So my tire is currently at 30. Earlier this morning, members of the UCO and Edmond community joined together in a candlelight vigil in honor of Transgender Day of Remembrance, as well as to honor the victims of the Club Q shooting that happened this past weekend in Colorado Springs. The vigil was hosted by the center at UCO. Many people who attended spoke, and they said while they are grieving, they will not be silenced. I spoke with two members of the Turkish raindrop community in the heart of Oklahoma City right off of Classen to find out how they've been affected by this. They said they're mourning and they want help. There are some places that maybe aren't as obvious. I'm outside of the library on UCO's campus right now, and it might look like this is pretty fine. You don't really see any ice. However, as you can see, it is in fact slippery. So if you do have to go outside, make sure that you're wearing shoes with extra tread so that you can have extra traction to stay safe.
People are still under the rubble of collapsed buildings.
Executive Director of the Raindrop Turkish House in Oklahoma City describing the scene of the destruction in Turkey. He says almost every member of the house has lost a loved one.
In a 1 week, I didn't go to school. I didn't answer any phone calls except my families. Many of my friends, they called, they know that what is going on. I didn't answer the text message, I just cried.
Oklahoma resident Sabit Ilmaz lost 4 family members from the earthquakes, his brother, sister-in-law, and 2 nephews. His family was trying to rescue others when their building collapsed as well.
I feel so sorry for them. I wasn't there. I couldn't help them.
Words cannot express our sorrow. We are going through difficult times.
Sajar says while they appreciate the help from other countries, it's not enough.
Imagine 10 different cities. A lot of people still waiting for food, waiting for shelter.
He also says he hopes Oklahomans themselves will hear their cries and lend a helping hand.
Even though the disaster, this tragedy, national disaster happened on the other side of the world, I think as Oklahomans, we have to do our best to help the people of Turkey.
Successfully represented more women and men athletes in Title IX litigation against their schools than anyone in the country. And I have never seen a case with such extreme unequal treatment and retaliation.
According to the complaint filed by 3 female track and cross country athletes, the university treats female athletes much worse than their male counterparts. The female cross country and track team don't have their own locker rooms or even a track on campus to practice on. In contrast, the men's football and wrestling teams have top-of-the-line locker rooms with free vending machines, customized nameplates, and a lounging area.
UCO can offer its student athletes whatever kind of athletic program it wants to. But whatever the program it is, it has to offer equal treatment and equal opportunities to the men and women on campus.
The lawsuit was the athletes' last resort. They met with UCO athletic director in February 2022 to ask for equal treatment. In response, they were told the only reason their team was reinstated after being cut in 2000 was to comply with Title IX standards, and they, quote, weren't really wanted, unquote. The athletic director told them they would hire a consultant and get back to them with a solution by May 15th. They heard nothing.
What happens next really depends on UCO. If the school wants to comply with Title IX and provide the equal treatment and accountability for its retaliation, that's what we want. If it doesn't want to, we will fight as long and hard as is necessary.
The university was officially served with the lawsuit September 27th. They have 21 days to respond.
It's just so atrocious.
Last year, 16 inmates died in the Oklahoma County Detention Center. In 2021, 15 inmates died. The People's Council for Justice Reform held a Day of Remembrance memorial to honor those who were lost and to fight for better conditions at the jail.
This county jail has been problematic for decades, almost maybe since it was even built.
Many people shared memories of those who were lost and talked about experiences their loved ones faced while booked in the detention center.
He had caught COVID in here. He had a bed bug bites. There was days where he'd say it would be freezing cold, and what else? Like they wouldn't take showers.
Nyla Garcia told U Central News her brother Eddie Garcia died while in the jail. According to the detainee death report filed by the Oklahoma County Detention Center, Garcia died from an accidental drug overdose May of 2022. Last month, a new interim administrator of the jail was announced. People at the protest said they were hopeful for positive change with this new leadership.
I am hopeful, and I am trusting the new administration to actually do a change and be better.
For now, however, the People's Council for Justice Reform said the current conditions are inhumane and unacceptable.
The fact that someone who was insulin dependent didn't get his medication, I mean, that is such a low bar.
Reporting from Oklahoma City, Jocelyn Schifferdecker, U Central News. From the gas pump to the grocery store across the state, Oklahomans are struggling with increased prices. But new research shows that pretty soon they may be getting a break.
We are talking about $821 million in brand new tax revenue to the state of Oklahoma over the next 5 years.
That is, if State Question 820 passes. SQ 820 would safely regulate and tax recreational marijuana for adults in Oklahoma. According to a study done by Vincent Sederberg, LLP, this initiative could cause Oklahoma to see a significant increase in tax revenue.
Over the first 5 years of operations from 2024 through 2028, the model projects that Oklahoma will raise more than $434.6 million in new revenue from the 15% excise tax from State Question 820.
In addition to this, they predict thousands of jobs will be created across the state.
You know, obviously, rate of jobs has increased. We hear reports all the time from people in the industry. These are good jobs. They are paying high wages. Some of them even offer full benefits.
And it's not just jobs in cannabis sales directly. Livingston said it also includes packaging, shipping, and more. While the tax revenue will go to the state, the money will still benefit the local communities per the allocations listed in the report.
The most important things and priorities that we all see in Oklahoma that need more funding are schools, our education system, healthcare, and some of our local governments.